Hey, it's Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today I'm gonna do a shaky cam interior walkthrough in a 2023 Lexus GX. The GX 460 is, I want to say, 14 years old at this point. I don't remember when it was last updated. It's at least 10 years old, and as such is pretty outdated compared to most of the competition, but we can expect a new version of this soon. Toyota and Lexus have already updated most of the rest of their lineup, so I'm sure that this one is next on the list. There are some cool features in here, and there are a lot of controls that may or may not make sense to somebody who has bought one of these. So let's just do it. Let's just do the walkthrough like I normally do. We'll start at the driver door and go around from the driver's perspective. So to start with, you got the door handle here, door latch right here, physical lock right here. Down over here, you have all four windows. Then you have, if I can get it to focus on the right spot, there we go. Window lock right there, and door locks right here to lock and unlock. Over here, this is the mirror setup. So you choose your mirror left or right. You move this to make them, do their thing. This deploys. This folds the side mirrors in. Over here is your dimmer switch for the instrument cluster. This turns on camera view. This is the odometer and trip system on the right there. So see down there at the bottom, trip A, trip B, etc. That's what that is. Down here, you've got the windshield washer system automatic setting. So what this does is it washes the headlights, right? I said automatic setting. That was probably not the best way to put that. Anyway, this runs a little squirter and washes them headlights. Over here is traction control. This is automatic high beams. You can toggle that on and off separate from the dongle for just the lights. I'll show you that in a minute. And then here is steering wheel heat, and that opens the fuel port to, fill the tank. Which you'll have to do a lot on this because, yeah, kind of a guzzler. Okay, steering wheel. Over on the left side here, you can see the volume, and then you can see up and down for the tracks and stuff. So this changes the tracks on the infotainment or changes channels. This chooses the mode for input. So basically you have like Sirius XM streaming, you have AM, FM, and you might have a device connected for Bluetooth or a plug. Here is the voice control system. It is slow and clunky. Yeah. So it's useful for a couple of things most of the time. Yeah, I don't know. I'll get to the infotainment in this. Over here is what I like to call telematics. It's not what it is, but telematics. Such a cool word. This is your phone, basically. Pick it up, hang it up. Over on this side, we have controls for the driver information screen up there, and a back button, and go through the menus. I'll show you those in 1 second. Or 3 or 10. Down here is your lane keeping assist on and off. Radar cruise control distance setting is right here. Actual cruise control is on this dongle. Push it down to set, push it up to resume, or add and subtract from whatever you're doing. You turn it on and off with this button here. Cancel it by pulling it towards you. Now, here's my problem with this thing. I bump it with my knee sometimes. Not as often because this is a larger steering wheel than some of the other Toyotas, but still I do bump it. So a little bit annoying. Now let's talk about these up there. So at the instrument cluster, you can see on the left is the tachometer. On the left at top is the engine heat. On the right at top, that is the fuel level. And then the speedometer. In the middle, you can see right now I have it set for the digital speedometer. And then if I go through the menus, pushing the menu button that I showed you before, I can walk through the top of those menus up there, and you can see what some of them are. And then when we get to one like this, where you can go down, this is a multi-select menu. So I can select any of these using that button there. and go through some more stuff, which is kind of cool. So nicely done there. I'm going right back to, if I can find it again, gonna go, I went too far. I want this screen, but with that. So there you go, gives you an idea of what the menus are. You have a lot of stuff over here and over here. These lights are mostly indicators of systems that are working, or so if the light isn't there, it will shut off. So blind spot management is on, parking radars are on. Over here is where most of your warning lights will come on. Right now it's saying you don't have a seatbelt on, to which I say, parked. Okay, so coming over here, you can see the, oh wait, I didn't talk about the dongles. Right here is the windshield washers and so on. So up and down to run the front one, you set how aggressive you want it with this, so up and down like that. And then the back one runs right here, you just twist it. Over on this side, you got signal turns, so up and down to indicate your lanes. Over here, you twist this to set the lighting. You can see I have it on auto. You can turn it to daytime runners, marker lights, or force the headlights on. This middle thing twists. Now, it only has this knob in the front, but the dial itself is in the back, so you can squeeze it and twist like that. And that is obviously the fog lamps. Now, over here, start stop button right there. You push the brake to start this. You can push it at any time to shut it off. Down here you can see the ECT and the center differential lock. So most of the time you're probably not going to touch these, but if you are off-road and you do need to force 4x4, force all four wheels to be running at the same level, then you'll need to use that. You will otherwise be in a four-wheel drive, but the transfer case will not force torque split at 50-50. It will send the torque however it thinks it needs to be sent. To go with that, since we're already talking about the four-wheel drive, I'm just going to switch over and show you the rest of the four-wheel controls. This right here controls actual transfer case. It's in high 4 by default. This is four-wheel drive all the time. It's actually more like all-wheel drive, but I digress. If you turn this, you have to push it down and you can go into low 4. You hear the beeping? It's because it's saying 4 low is engaging over there. I'm going to turn this back off. So you see I have to push it and turn and let go, and there you go. So four-wheel drive all the time. This over here is your, they have a name for what DAC stands for, but it's basically hill descent. This is how much you want the hill descent to be engaged. So you can see there's a slider bar. So as you're going across, the transmission will provide more and more resistance to the downhill push until you get all the way to the end, and then it will click on and turn on hill descent to tell you that you are in the biggest of those. So this is actual hill descent. It will hold you at a speed. So that's how that works. That's the four-wheel drive controls. Now, let's talk about the infotainment. It's terrible. This is the old Lexus system. So you use this giant mouse pad thing. You move around with these clunky, terrible setup. You see how it just jumps from thing to thing instead of moving around like a mouse. It's horrible. This, when you're stopped, is also a touch screen. So I can touch the screen and have it go back and do other things. So here we're looking at the navigation. If I push the menu button down there, you can see this menu pops up. So I pushed this button right here, brings up this menu. That's most of what you can do. There isn't a whole lot of great stuff here. What I would recommend is that you mostly use like Android Auto or whatever, or this projection if you have nothing else. But Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, way better options for the infotainment in this vehicle. It's clunky, it's terrible to use. It's just not a good setup. The new Lexus system that just debuted this year, head and shoulders above this thing. Now, you can see the first of the vents there and the Duke's lights right there in the middle. So when you got a hazard, you can push that. You can see you turn the vents on and off right there. And then down here, we're in climate controls. These go up and down to set your temperature. Your temperature setting will be shown right here. Right now I've turned it off. So if I turn it on, you can see the temp set, and then I can, right, like that. And then turn it off with that button. You can just you can control the fan here, defrost with air blowing on you, defrost without it, rear defrost there, rear climate system on, which will be at the same temperature these are. And you can have this on whatever you want. So right now it's on here because it's not on auto. If I put it on auto, I can do that. And then it will tell me it's running that, but it's on automatic mode, so it could go to recirc anytime. You do have dual control, so there is another temperature control right here. This, which is confusing, by the way. I've turned to this a couple of times and been like, why didn't the volume go up, and why'd this new green light show up on my dash? Anyway, down here, CD player. When was the last time you saw one of those in a brand new car? Been a couple years. All right, over here is your volume control. You can push it to turn it on and off, and there you go. Power and volume, that's just the label for that. Now you have radio, media, etc. So here's your hard buttons for that. Tuning over here. Then you have down here a little bougie cover, plonk, that you can open up. And then you can see there's a couple of USB-A's. There's a 12-volt plug right there. Over here is kind of a storage bin you could drop your phone into. That's kind of where I've been dropping mine. Just dropping in upright like so. Seat heaters and coolers. So if I have the seat heat on right now, I can turn it the other direction and now it's cooling. So pretty neat there. Ditto on that side for the passenger. So you got bun warmers and coolers. I showed you some of this. This is the Lexus pad. You can see there's a back button, maps and menu, and then this pops up if there are other sub menus going on, kind of stuff. So really annoying to use, terrible. This is the shifter. You can see the gearing right there, and you just shift to do it. You can also force to manual right there. So you go down to drive, you shove it all the way over. So that's in drive, that's in manual, and now I can shift up and down using this. This, another bougie cover, and a couple of drink holders. Pretty nice right there. Then you have a decent amount of storage. So half decent amount in there. This comes out if you don't want it. Pretty deep, pretty okay. No USBs, no other plugs in there. Then so you're gonna have to get used to reaching all the way down to grab this to open that, because up top there's these little tabs and they open nothing. What they do is they slide these back and forth. So if you want your armrest more forward or more back, you can slide it back and forth like that. So pretty neat there. Now, what is nice about this is the interior. See the wood inlay and all of this, just beautiful inlay and leather work. This faux leather, but still awesome. Very nicely done. Push button for the glove box. Key to lock it right there. Nicely done. The upholstery is also very nice. This is vented leather right here. And you can see what's on the floors and just what it looks like through here. Back seats, very good size. Cargo space is also really good. I don't like that it opens, where's my hand? It opens towards the curb, which is kind of annoying. It should open the other direction. But the top glass opens separately, which is really cool because it's way easier to load like groceries and stuff just going through that glass than opening that hatch all the way and trying to do that. So very nicely done on the interior of this Lexus. For the most part, this is a very good vehicle. It is very capable, extremely off-road capable. The engine is good. It is not great. It's not like always in a hurry or really fast, but it's always confident. You never feel like it's not going to be able to pull it off. It's just about right for this. Very capable four-wheel drive system in this. This is basically a Land Cruiser in most ways, so very nicely done there. Now, it is dated. The exterior look is still pretty good, but it is kind of an older SUV look. It is not new looking. And like I've shown you, the infotainment is way out of date, and a lot of the stuff just looks kind of dated for 2023. Now, the upside is, like I said, they are going to redo this model. I guarantee that inside the next couple of years, we are going to see a new version of this GX, or they'll rename it entirely, who knows. But we will see a new version of this vehicle in the next couple of years. But in the meantime, these are going to be all over the lots, and they are reasonably priced. So, yeah, that's what I got. This is the 2023 Lexus GX. This has been Aaron. Talk to you again soon.
Subscribe.